Good morning. You ready to get up? It's hard to sit still with that song, right? Let's start your day with that song. Get up, get moving. So today, unleashing. Unleashing. What's standing in the way? What is paralyzing you? What's holding you back? What gives you pause before you act? What are the fears, anxieties, doubts, uncertainties, all the little things that cause us to hesitate? Now, sometimes we talk about practicing the pause. That's a little bit different. Let's pausing to get centered, pausing to get grounded, pausing to make sure that, yeah, I'm feeling in alignment before I move forward. That's not what we're talking about. Michael Beckwith, in his book, Our Book of the Month, shared a story about he was part of a bike club, and they would do bike rides on a regular basis. And he tells a story about how on one particular morning he was just really they were going along and he just felt like he was struggling. He was really just having a hard time. He was getting past what he didn't usually get past. He was feeling tired and worn out and on and on. And he tells the story, and all of a sudden he realized that he was riding with the brakes on. Well, how often do anybody else have you felt like that in life? I have felt like that in life. Like I'm pushing up, pushing against the stream, riding constantly uphill, feeling a little bit out of control, even like I just can't get it going. I kind of was feeling a little bit like that towards the end of the week this week. Like I could not just make progress. I could not push through whatever was holding me back. And then all of a sudden, I was like, oh, I get it. I was holding on to some thinking, holding on to some ways of being that really didn't serve me any longer. Holding on to attachments that were tied to issues, from my youth, from my younger days that really had no bearing on what's happening. But because I had spent so much time with them, so much time holding on to them, they'd become automatic. They become an automatic and conditioned response about how I live in the world. In the same breath, they just don't apply anymore. It's kind of like going to make a phone call and looking for the phone attached to the wall. Right? Looking for that dial. We don't use the dial anymore. We don't need the dial phone anymore. I suspect there are people in this world that if you put that in front of them, they may not even know what it is. Right? Because we don't need them. We don't use them. And frequently I know I have held on to beliefs in my own past that are kind of like that. Not coming up with one in the moment, but you know what I mean. I don't have to live in the world that way anymore. So, am I driving today into the promised land of my life with my brakes on? Is that what I'm doing? Am I holding on to things that no longer serve me? Am I holding on to beliefs that say, you know what, you don't deserve that because of X, Y, and Z? Maybe because you're a guy, you don't get to do that. Or maybe because you're a woman, you don't get to do that. Or maybe because you're old, you don't get to do this. Or maybe because you're younger, you don't get to do this. For whatever reason, I have created some idea around me that says I don't get to be, do, have an abundant, joyful, loving existence in this world. Truth is, I do. Why? because I'm here for no particular reason. Each and every one of us an individualized expression of divine life. That's reason enough. Ernest Holmes writes this in The Science of Mind. He says, we should turn our thought to recognize the Spirit in everything we do, say, and think. We should daily train our thought to recognize the Spirit in everything we do, say, and think. Right? We teach it all the time. Each and every one of us, an individualized expression of Spirit, an individualized point of light within the mind of God. The words I speak are Spirit in action. The thoughts I think are Spirit in action. Everything I do, everything I experience, everything I see, touch, feel, encounter is the expression of Spirit as what? As love, as peace, as joy, as enthusiasm, as light, as goodness in and of itself. That's what I get to encounter. This is the way I get to live my day. And not just me, each of us, you. You get to do that just because you are here. Just because you are incarnate here in this experience, that is your birthright. That is my birthright, each of us. So what am I holding? So why am I bothering to hold on to these old ideas that say I'm not enough? It's just conditioning. It's just that old Pavlov's dog, little ring the bell, and the dogs slobber everywhere. Is that the way I want to be? No. Don't want to be a slobbering dog in the corner. Maybe the happy dog with a full tummy, right? And it's a choice I get to make. I get to let go of that conditioning and create new patterns. And so it takes time and effort to create those new patterns. It takes the spiritual mind treatment, it takes the study, it takes the classes, it takes working with other people to say, hey, I need to talk to somebody, I need to work my way through this. Can you listen? Do you have time for me? And odds are there's somebody in your world that will say, yeah, I'd be happy to. And if there's nobody in your immediate circle to do that, call me. Call Reverend Jill. Reach out to Daniel. Reach out to somebody who's sitting next to you in church on Sunday. We will listen. That's what community is about. And if it's just reaching out to somebody who will listen or somebody that will say, hey, what about looking at it a little bit differently? We can do that too. It's just the little shifts, it's the little conditions or the little points of conditioning that we have that make that difference so that we can choose differently, to choose a new way of thinking, a new way of believing. We get to choose life rather than limitation. We get to choose givingness over restriction. We get to choose love over fear. We all get to make those choices. And that's the difference between living a life of quiet desperation and choosing a life, living a life that is abundant, joyful, enthusiastic, all the good stuff. The difference is in how we choose and the patterns of our thinking and the effort that we make, the intentionality that we live with that says, I get to do it differently. I get to be more expansive. And we have all the little practices. We have the journaling, the daily reading, prayer partners, support systems, meditation, all the practices that bring us back to center. Frequently we talk about setting little reminder alarms in our phone. We have we have a phone, I can put an alarm for every 10 minutes in my phone. It goes off every day. Same time, with a little label that says, pause and breathe. Or a little label that says, remember you're awesome. Or a little label that says, hey, you're good enough. Or hey, you deserve to be here. Remember to live love. Pick a little message that you want for yourself and put it in your phone to remind you. I can remind me. And quite honestly, that's an idea that just occurred to me. See, I told you. Telling Jill before I said, there's something coming. I'm not sure what it is, but there's something coming. Put little affirmations in your phone, attach them to an alarm so that it goes off and you look at it and say, yeah, I'm pretty awesome, huh? I'm pretty cool. I deserve to be here. I can be successful. I am successful. I'm abundant, prosperous, healthy, happy, and whole. And I believe it. It's not just a story I'm telling me. And frequently it will start out as a story that I'm telling me. Sometimes we say affirmations and immediately there's a little voice that goes off and says, yeah, right. But say it enough. Say it with a little more conviction the next time. Say it with a little more commitment the next time. A little more feeling the time after that. And eventually we create that groove in our consciousness that says, yeah. And we don't even have to think about it anymore because we just know it. We simply know it. Alana Fairchild writes this. This is one of my favorite new writers. She says, I've never seen that picture of her. That's a nice picture. All right. Divine timing is always at play. Whether we are letting go or trying to force something, there should be an intelligent power that is more vast than our comparatively limited vision is always in flow, and we are a part of that. Divine timing is always at play. No matter what we are doing, there is an intelligent power that is more vast than our comparatively limited vision. It is always in flow, and we are part of that. Wow. The divine is always conspiring for our good. There's a greater intelligence, a power greater than we are that knows absolutely how everything fits together. I don't need to know all of it. I just have to show up and do my part. So when I'm inspired and an opportunity presents itself to me, I get to act. I get to take part and play my role in fulfilling my own destiny that I have set for myself. It's not something that anybody has set for me, because I've set an intention about my life that says my life is more expansive, my life is more abundant. I am more powerful and present in the way I live and move and have my being in this world. That's my intention. And so the universe comes around and says, okay, we're going to start moving puzzle pieces and moving, players on the chessboard to bring this together for you. And then I get to play my role, whether I'm the bishop or the knight or the castle or the pawn, whatever it is. I play my role in that great game. And a big part of that is simply showing up and being present, paying attention, being mindful about what's going on inside of me, first and foremost. Listening to the little nudges, the little still small voice activities that going on inside of me and say, you know what? How about this? How about you turn right instead of turning left? How about you get up at 5 a.m. instead of 6:30 so that you have time to be with yourself before moving out into the world. Have time to do your spiritual practice. Or maybe it's not getting up early. Maybe it's just taking an hour in the afternoon to be with yourself rather than watching a couple shows on Netflix. Or maybe that time on Netflix is exactly what you need. I don't know. But you get the idea. It's listening to the little nudges and listening and saying, okay, is this life giving? Is this creating a more expansive way of being for me? Or is this a little message that's old programming that's tied back to way back when that says I'm not enough? Is it limiting? And that's really a good way to look at it and say, okay, are we talking about something that's life-giving or something that's restricting? Something that's making more space or something that is limiting me to where I think I've always been. Right? Goes back to an old affirmation that one of my mentors gave me a long time ago. I think it was Reverend Jack Deaton actually gave me this affirmation. He said, use this, Lee. He says, today I let go of everything I've thought myself to be so that I may be who I truly am. Yeah. Today I let go of everything I've thought myself to be so that I may be who I truly am. Can I draw that line in the sand of my life that says, you know what? Today, in this moment, everything's up for grabs. I say that's, it's a pretty bold place to stand. Can I say that everything that has gone before is up for grabs and I get to choose new in every area of my life? Now, that's a lot, right? You stop and think about that's a lot. But how about taking just one little area today? Or one little area this week that says, in this area, I'm going to unpack it all. Say, we're talking about abundance and prosperity this month. So let's talk about abundance. What are the things I believe to be true about abundance? Not just money, but just, prosperity, my livingness, all the possible good that can show up for me. What are the things I believe to be true about that in my world? And make a list and say, okay, what serves me, what doesn't serve me? I'm going to keep this one. I'm going to let go of this. I get to do that, right? You get to do that. And that's the way forward. That's the path forward. Because the universe will absolutely support you and say yes, and support us and say yes to the beliefs that we hold on to the ones that we keep. It says, okay, these are the ones you want to keep. Here we go. And then we keep showing up. We keep saying, the universe will keep saying yes to us as long as we keep saying yes to us. Right? Because it will be to us what we are to it and what we are to ourselves. what we are to ourselves. So there's a little paragraph on page 323 in the Science of Mind, and I've broken it up into 3 parts. Yeah. So this is page 323 in the Science of Mind, if you want to go look it up. I'm not even sure what the chapter is, but anyway, I kind of opened the book and looked, and there it was. All is love, and yet all is law. Love is the impelling force, and law executes the will of love. That's what I was just talking about. The law is always saying yes. Love points the way. Love is the creative, impelling force that moving in and through each and every one of us. Love is expansive. Love is saying yes. Love is about creativity and expansion and improving and deepening and widening our experience of good. And the law says one thing. It says, yes, okay, we're going to create the conditions for all of it. This is what you want. This is what you say. This is what you expect. Just like we expect the sun to rise in the morning, here we go. Ernest goes on to say, we are a center of God consciousness in the great whole. Wow. What does that mean to you? When you read that, so instead of we, let's say this. We say, I am. So, okay, we're going to play the game. Say it after me. I am a center of God consciousness in the great whole. Say it again. I am a center of God consciousness in the great whole. One more time. I am a center of God consciousness in the great whole. How does that feel? What does your consciousness say back to you when you say that? And the third part, turning to the one with complete abandonment and absolute trust, we will find that we are already saved, healed, and prospered. Abandonment. How does that feel? How does that resonate for you? If I turn myself, am I turning to the universe? Am I turning to Spirit, God, Source, whatever we name it? Am I turning to that with complete abandonment? Now, this is not like that, what's that old phrase, abandon all hope, ye who enter here. It's not that. This is turning to Spirit, turning to God, turning to the One without reservation. Without reservation. This is not just releasing the brakes, this is cutting the brake cable. Right? No exceptions, no holding back, no whole card, right? Not holding on to anything, right? I used to remember listening to Edwene Gaines, just a powerful, powerful prosperity teacher. And she always talked about the whole card. What is it you're holding on to? What is that one little thing, that one little idea that you just can't let go of that's holding you? It's like, if you let go of that, there's no going back. Right? It's like if I take my sailboat and head to the Terry, who tells it? Who tells the story? I want to get it right. It's not Terry McBride. It is. Anyway, I'll remember halfway through. if I sail my ship and I go to the island, because this is the island that I want to go to, before I burn the boat at the dock, I want to make sure that everybody that's coming with me is really committed, right? I am committed to this new place, this new way of being. So much so that I am willing to burn the boat at the dock and say, you know what? There's no going back. Am I that committed to the new way of being? Am I that committed to my own health, my own well being, my own prosperity? To knowing absolutely that everywhere I look, I see the face of God. That at every turn, I know abundance, health, wholeness, and prosperity are going to meet me. Not that they're going to, but they do meet me. Sometimes, some mornings, not quite there. Some mornings I am absolutely there. And I get grateful for those. And I get grateful for the others too, because that just means there's something I need to get at. Because on my good days, on my best days, and maybe on not quite my best days, I know absolutely that Spirit is going to greet me. That Spirit does greet me. That I walk and I turn and I look and I see and I abandon myself to Spirit. Because I don't need to be in charge. I don't need to run the universe. I just need to get a hold of me, my little part. And yes, I'm connected to all of it. Yes, I'm connected to each and every one of you. And we are doing this together. And we talked about we're walking each other home. We're growing, living, doing, being, expressing, expanding, learning together, each of us playing our role into a more abundant way of being, a more abundant life. We get to do that together for a day, a season, a lifetime, for whatever time we're here doing this thing. And it's about becoming and expanding and growing and embracing a more abundant life, a more abundant way of being. And that includes every aspect of our lives. So we turn to the one with complete abandonment and absolutely trust we will find that we are already saved, already healed, already prospered in everything we do. So now, your turn. Questions? I'm not going to make you talk. Yes, sir. And I'm sorry, remind me of your name again. I'm sorry.
I'm Jim.
Jim. Yes, you may. Yeah, you can do that.
Hi there. Thank you, Reverend Lee. So
Oh,
much
sure.
of your talk was very poignant to me. I'm returning to Science of Mind after being away for a while, and everything in my life is changing right now.
Oh,
I spent 10 years being a caretaker for my father who passed away just after Christmas. I helped build a business during those 10 years, which is no longer the right place for me. And how to break those bonds is something that Universal Mind has been taking care of all of the details for me along the way. About a month ago, the owner of the building where the business was decided they were going to sell the building. And so the directive was, Jim, physically unlink all of your stuff from this business. It was the plan of how am I going to tell the owner? How am I going to tell the owner? And it just happened so naturally that on Monday, it just came pouring out of me. I said, I'm tired. I'm done. This isn't the right place for me anymore. I need to take care of cleaning up the last 10 years and really discover who I am moving forward. And he was completely understanding. Friday was my last day. They flipped the switch. I have access to nothing. Um, and that's very freeing in itself. But I was the one clinging on to that, saying I want to hold on to this because this is the assured thing that's worked for me for 10 years. But really, has it worked for me? No, the answer is no. I've been very unhappy for a long time. So yeah, the adventure of life is in front of me, and the idea of cutting the brake lines is very poignant. And I try to wake up every morning and say, am I willing to experience the results of my thinking today? And how am I going to stand sentry at the gate of my mind to make sure that the thoughts that are coming through, am I going to obsessively look at CNN all day long and see the disasters of the world that are happening right now? Or am I going to step away and read that Beckwith book?
Right. There you go.
And others. So it's wonderful to be here. I don't know why I'm hesitant to get involved in the fellowship of this right now, probably because I'm just going through so much changes right now. But I'm sorry that I'm going to miss the picnic next week. I quit my job and I'm going to Disneyland.
Oh, there you go. Bravo.
Thank you for letting me have a little say today.
Sure. Great. Thank you, Jim. Appreciate you. All right. Anybody else? All right. Let's go to practicing the principles then. So, nope. That's that what I gave you? Okay. Okay. Oh, practice living in the moment. Okay. And from the moment. So I think I typed in the daily affirmation that I just read earlier. All right, here we go. I let go of everything I've thought myself to be so that I may be who I truly am. We're going to give you that affirmation. I think I put it in there. Maybe I didn't. If I didn't, I will put it in the Mindful Monday. So I'm offering you that affirmation this week. Is it in there? Oh, I changed. I think I adjusted it. I let go of everything that I have thought myself to be so that I fully express who I truly am. I changed the words. There we go. I let go of everything I've thought myself to be so that I fully express who I truly am. I'll put it, make sure it gets into Mindful Monday. Thank you, Jill. Appreciate that. So that will be our practice this week. And so with that, we'll move into our benediction, our closing affirmation. Oh, I'll just get it in. It's okay. We're going to get to that. Thank you. Oh, okay. Giving and receiving. Okay. Jill, it's your turn. Oh, oh, the benediction. Okay. No, we're not there yet. We're not doing that yet. It's your turn now. Are you going to pray? Oh, yeah. Let me pray. I'll pray. Join me, everybody. What a morning. So grateful. So very, very, very grateful. I'm grateful to be here, grateful to recognize the one power and presence, the infinite one, and we abandon ourselves to that presence right here and right now. No holding back. No hold card. We turn to it and we turn within, knowing that all is well, that life is good and very good. And so we know that it is in this presence we live and move and have our being, and it in us, through us, as us, right here and right now. And so I speak this word of truth for each and every one of us here, for those in our community, our city, our state, our world. For at this point, in this consciousness, in this awareness, there is only one of us. And for each of us, I know peace. I know love and joy and harmony. I know prosperity, health, and wholeness. All of these, all of this is our truth. That we walk in conscious awareness of the good that is already ours, and we accept it, we receive it, we know it, we celebrate it. In this and in every moment, with every breath, we know it moves in, through, and around and as us, taking on form and substance in accord with our needs, our desires, our good. That which is for us is already given. And we simply say, yes, thank you. For we know that this light of truth sweeps aside any doubt, any uncertainty, any fear or anxiety. They are let go, they are dismissed. And we receive our good. And I know the truth for anybody here, anybody who has something going on with them that they seek to let go, they seek to heal. It is already done, it is already complete. I know that the truth is revealed, and health and wholeness and well-being are already present. Peace rules the day. Joy and love and celebration express in this moment. And all is well. Life is good and very good, and we know it is already complete, already done. And so we say together, and so it is.